his name?
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. Yeah. And a real hero of conservation too. I'm so proud to have you here and count you among my friends. Thank you, Achi.
Thank you.
Good evening. Somehow, have you seen, Uri's got some Israeli connection somehow. He calls me Achi, which means brother. Yeah? It's not a light word in Hebrew when you say Achi, you know, brothers in arms. I think, Uri carries an honor badge here from the Israeli Defense Force. So definitely he's Israeli as well. I call him my NBF, you know. He's my new best friend, but it's not already new. Since Uri entered my life, we speak at least twice a day. Every day. So it's been short but very intense and beautiful friendship. And as to the Israeli connection, I think he served his time in the Israeli Defense Force, so he deserves to be called Israeli, but he's got, there's some other criteria. When I go overseas and sometimes I have to explain about the culture, I can narrate the Jewish culture in one sentence. So, they tried to kill us, God saved us, let's eat. That's basically the entire Jewish culture. Now, as to Israeli culture, it's a bit more complex. So I would say what characterizes Israelis, and see if Uri fits into the equation, is that, first of all, the attitude. Two sentences about the attitude. The first one, you start full volume and then you increase. That's one sentence. The other one, if you try it by force and it doesn't work, apply more force. And I think the general attitude as well, that a proverb that comes to mind, that if you don't live on the edge, you occupy too much space. Okay. So it's a beautiful connection that I have with Uri and Hele. Since they entered my life, as I say, we've been on daily connection. We planned a visit to Israel. Somehow COVID interfered, but here I am here with you tonight, which is a great pleasure and honor. I was also struck by nature, and also like Ophir, will never be the same person again. The call for an adventure is something mythical, the work of Joseph Campbell, the classic work of Joseph Campbell, is called The Hero with the Thousand Faces. Why thousand faces? Because it doesn't matter where you are, which culture, the hero always is the same hero. And the hero hears the call for the adventure, and he cannot resist the call. He has to follow his destiny. It doesn't matter how difficult, it doesn't matter how dangerous. The adventure is calling, you got to follow your adventure. What separates an adventurer from regular people, that sometimes people have a dream and they use the dream as escapism. They just dream on their couch. But the adventurer has to surrender to the dream. The moment you have a dream, you have no choice but to follow the dream. That's right. Some people dream at night, others cannot fall asleep because the dream keeps them awake. My experience in the Amazon was tragic, we were an expedition of 4 people. It's actually a bit like a joke. An Austrian, an American, a Swiss, and an Israeli went to explore the uncharted. That's how it starts, but it ends not as a joke, because 2 never came back. And what I've experienced is total isolation in the midst of a rainy season for 3 weeks, all alone, with no equipment. So I was also touched by death. And when I was touched by death, I really felt the cold hands of death touching me. And then my life was saved. I was brought back to life by a miracle. But what happens then, I caught the end of death, and I'm the one that's holding it. I'm not releasing death, because nothing makes you more alive than knowing death so intimately. Not one breath should be taken for granted, you know. Once you lost your life, you know to appreciate life so much. Another thing I want to speak about heroism. In an extreme circumstances, heroism is natural. Actually, all the big heroes are not big deal at all. In extreme circumstances, what other choice do you have but become a hero? It's natural to become a hero when life is really tough. It's not natural to be a hero in the day-to-day. So the real heroism of Uri Goldman is his life now, not what he did in the extreme parts of the world, in the wilderness. I admire him for what he did, but I respect and admire him much more for what he does now.